Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Good morning, friends. This is Jason with Ray of Light Tarot. My spirit name is Seva, which means Seva Sundar, which means selfless service to the divine. Guys, I was not going to do a Wednesday wisdom because I've got a lot of work to do this morning. So, in order to sort of spare myself some energy drain because of the work I have to do, I wasn't going to get on here and do a Wednesday wisdom this morning. However, I woke up from a dream that was literally a channeled message from a spirit guide and also from Archangel Michael. I've got to relay this message because it's so important. So let me start by saying a quick intention and getting this thing popping. Good morning, guys. Thank you for being here. Guys, please like the video. This one needs to circulate. This one needs to circulate, especially for those, yeah, people need to hear this. I don't know who, but some people really need to hear this. This is an important message. So, guys, for those of you who are spiritually woke, what I do as a reader of tarot here on Ray of Light Tarot, you bring in a few groups of people. You bring in people who are just looking for guidance, people who consult psychics, tarot readers, whatever, to get guidance on things, right? They're not particularly spiritually awakened, but they're just looking for guidance, right? And so they don't understand what a small group of us are actually going through and how deep it is. And because of that, a lot of people attach to words and catchphrases and labels that don't actually apply to them. And when a large group of people attach to labels, as has happened with the twin soul phenomenon, it is a true phenomenon and it's something real that's happening around the world, but it's happening in reality, in actuality, this thing is happening to such a small amount of people that the large amount of people who have attached to the word have caused a backlash to where even I, someone who's on a very authentic twin soul journey, I mean, all you have to do is look at the experiences that I've had, life changing, from death to life. Someone who's on that journey, I don't even like using the word twin souls anymore because it irritates me because of how tarnished the reality of that has become by people who, for some reason, like to use that word to describe a toxic relationship they were in or whatever. If you are on a journey with someone who ghosted you or whatever, and you want them back, but the journey has not changed your entire life, probably even your career path, your purpose, your mission, turned your gifts up from a 1 to a 10, brought you from death to life, you're probably not on a twin soul journey, so please don't call it that, guys. Okay? Twin souls is, and it doesn't mean your journey's not special. Of course it's special. But twin souls is this specific thing, and they come under attack from the darkness, black magic and everything, okay? Because it's prophesied about, and it's fulfilling a specific purpose in the world. And it's a hard thing. It's not an easy thing, and it's not really about romantic love so much. It's about unconditional love that doesn't really have a lot to do with romance. So if you are in a situation that's about a romantic love, it may be a strong soul connection and that's beautiful, but I would hope people would stop clinging to the twin soul thing unless you know that's what you're on, because we need to give messages to twin souls. There are a lot of people who are on twin soul journeys and they're being attacked by the darkness on a daily basis to keep those relationships apart. Those relationships may have romantic components up to them, but they're not about romance at all or fairy tales. They're about this lesson of unconditional love that goes soul deep and many lifetimes back to source, and it's about healing core wounds and growing into a place where that unconditional love, when in union, has a ripple effect on the immediate environment around those two individuals and the world at large. And there is a small percentage wise group of people who are on a journey like that, and it's very specific, but it's been muddied and confused, and a lot of people have embraced the terms and now completely disrupted the what it's even all about. So you don't meet your twin soul in just a common way either. They come into your life in a very strange way. Um, they are not someone who you have. It if you're not on it, you're not going to understand it. And a lot of people who think 99, just know if you think you're on a twin soul journey, you're probably not. And it's okay. Who cares what you call it? But the reason it's important not to call something like that a twin soul journey when it's not, because people get real confused about what it is and they start thinking it's some toxic thing, when in reality, what it is a beautiful thing based on a friendship that goes very deep, and a knowing that goes very deep because someone shares your core wounds, your heart for life, and your passion, first and foremost, for helping mankind and healing. Okay. There's this whole thing that came up. I don't like to talk about my journey in particular because I'm protective of my twins, of that person, and although we're not in great communication, we're always in good communication. I mean, our souls, we love each other, right? We love each other, and it's a friendship, and it's an I have your back thing, and so I don't like to even. But this is something that needs to be talked about because it's so important, and it's not any details about that person, but it's still it's my journey. So, but I need to share this because even if it helps one other uh, twin soul union happen, that's perfect. And a twin soul union is probably not going to mean what you think it means, like a marriage and a picket fence and kids. It's so different. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like if you, it's better not to call it a twin soul. Like if what you want from somebody is to get married and to have kids and to have those traditional things or any type of a traditional relationship, it's probably not a twin soul anyway. So it's probably some kind of a beautiful soulmate connection. And so it's important we don't misunderstand because here's what happens with twin souls is they come into each other's life a lot of times surrounding an eclipse because the energy is so related to the stars and what's happening in the astrology. And the souls are drawn to one another in an intense way. Like I said, it's not necessarily a romantic thing. It usually can have that aspect as well as many other aspects, but that's not the thing that leads the way. It's a knowing. The eyes meet and they know each other. The souls meet, they know each other. And what happens is it awakens you and it draws you. Hold on, we're getting a lot of messages. I'm going to stop talking for a minute and read some chat. I see a lot of you are wanting to talk. It's not always good because it's twin or soul. Okay, I don't know what you mean by that, but hello, Jason. Tunde. Hello, Tunde. England here. Dark have meddled with my. Yeah, right. So, Anita, the dark may have meddled with your twin soul, but you guys didn't come to, and you didn't come to be alone, but your twin soul, you didn't come to have, just if it's a twin soul journey you're on, you didn't come just to have a happy coupling with that person either. It's much deeper than that. If it is a twin soul, in fact, what you will notice is as the result of that person coming into your life, a lot changes for you pretty quickly. You're going to see your path may have been like this, and it's suddenly going to go, and gifts go, like I said, there's an uptick in your gifts. Anyway, all of that stuff is not the point. You decide what journey you're on, guys. That's not why I'm talking about this. The point is this. When and if you are on that journey and are awakened to it, the darkness will attack you. And here's how obvious it becomes, especially the more high profile your journey is. And it can become high profile very quickly because authentic twin souls, major things happen in their lives in big ways. I was on the path of dying and on drugs, and then my twin soul came into my life, and suddenly I'm on YouTube reading tarot and giving messages to people, and on a whole different trajectory. And my twin soul and I were literally discussing a shared dream we had, a very similar dream the night before, and how strange it was, and trying to figure out what it meant. And because we both were aware of the twin soul journey at this point, and we were recognizing how the darkness was attacking us and that we weren't going to let it. And then within about 2 or 3 days, we were in no communication because of the darkness attacking us. And you can say you're not going to let it, but you let it sometimes because we're not in control, guys. There are forces that will pull and push when the point of a relationship is literally unconditional love. This goes outside of romantic love, familial love, all of these loves that we experience in human form that are beautiful, but they're just every day. When a relationship is based on unconditional love and a soul union that can't really be broken outside of the physical realm, the darkness pulls hard to keep it from coming together in the physical realm because why? The impact it has on the world around it. And that's the whole point of the journey is the impact it has on the world around it. So you have to be aware if you are on that journey, you need just to immediately start doing a few things. And you need to start learning how to protect your energy. You've got to. You've got to start learning how to protect your energy. You've got to expect that darkness to attack those dark entities to attach to people and things to use those people and things to try and disrupt the relationship. That's why coaches, twin soul coaches tell people, don't talk about your relationship. Don't talk about it with other people. Even people who want you to want good things for you, don't talk about it. And it's, those things, I wish I understood a lot of the things then that I understand now about this journey because of what it's about and what's happening. And you've got it. And see, even if it wasn't, this is important information for everyone because whether you're on a twin soul journey or not, if you're spiritually awakened and growing and impacting people, healing people, you need to protect your energy and know how to do that. But you also need to expect the darkness to come in. Okay. Because even when you expect it and you know that's what's happening, you aren't always going to be prepared or able to stop the result of it. Okay. But here's the thing: what you want to, what I think is so important. Literally, black magic is used on people who are known to be twin souls, and it's because we're moving. The Earth is literally shifting. Okay, the Earth is shifting as we go into the age of Aquarius at the end of next year. The Earth is shifting into a different dimension, and as that shift happens as a result of twin souls and the union of and the love that they bring together, overwhelming the darkness that we're in right now is really ultimately that's a really simplistic way of describing it so everyone can understand it. That love has a ripple effect and overwhelms the darkness. Okay. And we're not talking about the kind of love that most of us understand love. That's what I feel like is the problem. People are misunderstanding it so often. Your twin soul doesn't even have to be a romantic partner. It could be your twin brother or sister, literally. Okay? That's what's so important. It's an intense connection. It's an intense soul connection. But as human beings, we're so accustomed to experience love in these certain ways that we think of it having to be okay. Well, it has the most intense love I've experienced comes from romance and sex, right? Or having a child. So it has to be this. This is what makes it set apart from everything else. It's actually all of those and none of those. It's all encompassing. It's this connection you experience with somebody where it's unconditional. And that's the reason the darkness fights against it so hard, because it actually prompts you to want to live and to heal, and then to, as the result of that, heal others. And the darkness tries to get in the middle of that, because God is love. So the love between you two is God, right? And it's God, right? So if you have a relationship with someone who, I notice in readings, a lot of people will say, my twin soul, blah, 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 blah. And then they start telling about their twin soul and the things that this person's doing to them. That's not what a twin soul does. It's just not. A lot of people will say, oh, yes, it is, because a lot of people aren't on twin soul journeys and think they are. A twin soul doesn't ghost you. I'm sorry, they don't. Now, something might happen that is very clear that causes someone who is normally very much open-hearted with you and sharing everything about themselves with you and their lives to shut down because the healing hasn't taken place yet. To shut down and then cease contact with you. But they're not going to ghost you in the sense that you hear about. I hear about this ghosting thing that people do nowadays. I know a lot of young kids do this. Young kids, teenagers, and emotionally immature adults, I guess. But there's a lot of things that if this is happening to you, I don't care if a tarot reader or if I tell you this looks like a twin soul journey. If this, and this is happening to you by this person, they're not a twin soul. Because you have to have a basis of unconditional love there. And unconditional love doesn't mean you, as the divine, awakened feminine or whatever, constantly forgiving them and them constantly treating you like crap and then coming back and saying they're sorry and getting your forgiveness. Yeah, that's unconditional love on your part. We got to talk about unconditional love in the middle of this, right? So the biggest thing is, what kind of doubts do you have about this? And guys, it doesn't mean your journey is any less special if you're not on it. If it's not a twin soul journey, it's certainly special if you're here. If you're here and you're asking about someone, or here because of some connection you have in your life, surely it's a special soul connection. But we have to be careful of what we call something and assume something is, because you're actually harming the journey of this very small sector of the population and the special work they came here to do by lumping things in there that don't belong. So please be careful. I almost don't like to call my experience a twin soul journey. And I think, it's pretty clear that it is, based on the experiences. It's not even, for some, I mean, we both have acknowledged it and tried to help people with it, but even still, that you will go into separation. So I think it's just very important to not label it like that, because I and other readers I've talked to, we tend to not even want to address messages anymore because of the way that it seems to have been hijacked by dysfunctional, toxic relationships that are karmic, soul in some level. They can be very similar and very disguising, right? I don't know why people use magic in that way. I don't know why people use magic to harm others, but they do. They do. It's definitely true. And specifically, relationships that are based mutually and reciprocally based in unconditional love are going to be attacked by the darkness because of what they have the potential to do. And it's really important to be aware of that and to learn to protect yourself, guys. Learn to protect yourself. Learn to, unless it's for the purpose of helping someone, keep that relationship very protected and close to your heart, and just sort of it. Because the thing is, it's actually, as you get a little further into it, it doesn't matter whether you and that person come into what a lot of people perceive to be union, like togetherness, marriage, and the 3D. The union is there in a beautiful way because of the unconditional love, and as long as the healing takes place because of the separations, as long as the healing continues to take place and the growth, you don't know, neither one of you needs to make any huge changes in your 3D life to move toward each other, because you're already very much connected. So it's for those who feel the lack when they don't talking to the person, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's only going to, with a twin soul at least, there's not going to be an unacknowledgement of the connection being twin soul for more than 2 years. Because once you awaken to it, if it really is a twin soul, they're going to awaken to it within 6 months to 2 years of that. Bam, you're good. Like, it's going to happen pretty quick. So you don't have to worry about these long periods of someone not acknowledging it. Doesn't mean you won't go into separation again, but it's different once there's the both awakened and understanding what's happening. Protect your soul from the darkness. Keep your relationship to yourself, your family, your friends. No one is going to approve of it, but that's not a sign that it's a twin soul, because nobody, family, friends, others, they don't approve of your toxicity relationships either, or people that treat you like crap. So your twin soul doesn't treat you like crap and then come back and apologize repeatedly. Might happen one time in the beginning, but it's not going to happen over and over and over. That's not a twin soul, guys. Yeah, so I would say speak to a spiritual mentor. Um, the more you use your gifts, the more you need to protect yourself. The more you are using your gifts to heal others, the more you need to protect yourself. If you're someone who, yeah, does like magic or spells and stuff, but you don't actually use your gifts to help people, like to help heal people in some way, I don't think there's so much of a need to protect yourself. The protection comes in when you're out there healing, right? When you're like Christ out there doing healing things for people. you need to also then protect yourself just in the most basic practical senses. In other words, you're using your energy, so you need to protect your energy and from actual attacks from the outside, right? So if you're out there using your energy to help people to the point that you end your days energetically drained, then you probably need to find ways to protect your energy in other ways as well. If that's not the case with you, then it's probably a non-issue, okay? When you become awakened, your journey begins. That's true. Well, your journey definitely really intensifies then. Um, but don't think that it was a waste of time before you awaken, because all the things you go through in life that lead you to that point are still going to be there for you to look back on, and they're also going to inform your experience. I take a lot of wisdom and strength and hope from the experiences that I had before I was awakened, uh, even if they're just cautionary tales. But definitely, there's a lot that comes through from that stuff, as well as the things that have happened and that I've experienced in the last 2 years as well. Amethyst is really great for absorbing negativity. I think that this is a great stone also to sort of sleep with, to keep close to you, definitely. As you are awakened to your journey, your gifts and your gifts become more apparent to you. Stay in close contact with your spirit guides, with God, with source energy, in order to expand those gifts and to find out what you're being called to use those gifts for. Because we don't have gifts just for them to be dormant, right? The gifts are there to use them, and it's usually there to use them to heal other people, to help other people heal in some way, right? What's your opinion on marijuana? I have no issues with drugs of any kind. I think marijuana, like many things, is a medicine. I don't use it. I think it's a personal choice, right? I know if you're, I know there's no chemical solution to a spiritual problem. That's usually where I go with that. Now, I think certain things can be very, very helpful. Like, I have been wanting to do an ayahuasca retreat. My twin soul and I had talked about doing this ayahuasca retreat together, and I've been wanting to do that very soon with someone. They do some. I think I don't know. They're all over the place now. A couple years ago, when we first started talking about it, you had to like go to basically to South America to do it. But I think that there's a lot of other options. In other words, though, yeah, I think reverse black magic, mirror east. Da, da, da. So here's what I believe about what like Chantel just said. Yeah, stuff like incantation, spells, magic. I don't think that any of that works or doesn't work based on all of these things. Those things are rituals that a certain person developed because it worked for them. The best way to use quote unquote magic or to do things is to figure out what works for you, because the power isn't in those things. The power is in your words. The power is in you and your connectedness to source. So it's not really about doing those incantations and things that somebody else gives you. That's not it. It's in you developing your mastery set and whatever works for you. Okay? That's real magic. And it's the power of your words, it's the power of your vibration, it's the power of your energy, and harnessing that, taking ownership of that, and being that. And, it's also the belief that you put into it. So if what Chantel just put up, if you take that and you put that into a ritual and you put a lot of belief into that, I'm sure it works. But it's more about the belief you put into it and your power behind it, okay? As a God being, as a divine being, okay? I really think it's important to protect yourselves, guys. It's really important because unfortunately, and I don't think most people are bad people. Like that person that came into my life at the most strange time and started messaging my twin soul and me and all of my subscribers, all of this craziness about stuff, that stalker type person. I don't think that person's a bad person, but I think that clearly there's some unbalance mentally. And when you're not balanced in any way, spiritually, mentally, in any way, when you're out of balance and not aligned and in a good place, lower vibrational energies can attach to you and use you for purposes that aren't so good, right? I'm sure that's happened to me in the past. So the message that really kind of woke me up was, guys, protect yourselves. Let's be careful of the labels we put on to our situations so that we don't in any way harm a very important journey or do harm to something that's very specific and very special, especially if we're talking about a relationship that hasn't really changed our life. If that relationship hasn't changed your entire course of your life in a huge way, I would be very hesitant to label it as something that for most people that I've talked to who are in union or who are on their way toward it, it's been a completely life transformative event. Okay, it's like being two different people. The before and it's like before BC and AD. It's like the mark of history, that type of thing. So be careful with the labels because you can do more harm than good, and there's karma attached to harm, even if you weren't aware of the harm you're doing, guys. So do no harm. First, do no harm. It's like the Hippocratic Oath in medicine. First, do no harm, okay? And that's really important, I think, especially in journeys that are literally, people are here for the purpose of literally affecting the earth in a positive way. So, yeah, just, and also remember if you are on that type of journey, you need to be very much rooting for and desiring everyone else who's on that journey to come into their union because it helps you as well. That is a ripple effect as well. So what's good for the goose is truly, in this case, good for the gander. Okay? All right, guys. That's all I wanted to say. I love you guys so much, and I've got a lot to do. I've been on here 26 minutes longer than I needed to today because that's why I did yesterday morning's broadcast. So you guys, love you so much. Have a wonderful day. Happy hump day. Make it a good hump day. All right, Bubba. My dog's got to go out, so I got to go. Bentley's got. You want to say hi to the peeps? Hold on. Bentley wants to say hi to the peeps. Come here. Come say hi to the peeps. I got you. Don't grunt too much, baby. He's going to grunt at y'all. There we go. Look at this boy. Look at this boy. Now look at this pretty boy. This is the most precious soul on the planet right here. Say hi, Bubba. Say hi to the people. They love you. They love. Oh, look. Don't do that. Don't knock it down. Hold on. They love you, Bentley. Do you guys love? Say hi, Mr. Bentley. They love you. Do you guys love Mr. Bentley? Look, Mr. Bentley. They love you. Okay, enough kisses. Look at the peoples. Say hi to the peoples, Bubba. And he's like, you want to go? All right, Bubba. You guys have a great day. We love you. Do you love them, Bentley? Bentley loves you.